Hey folks, welcome to today's The Steady Trader YouTube Live. Well, yesterday we talked about two of the easiest ways to lose money in the markets. One of them was fighting trends, because essentially you'll be fighting institutional money. And number two was to trade choppy markets. Well, today what I wanted to do is take a couple minutes to explain that there's a difference between choppy markets and range-bound markets. The former is very difficult, like I said, almost impossible to trade and most likely going to lose money. Range-bound markets, on the other hand, as long as they have a well-defined range, are actually possible to trade. And so I got a lot of questions yesterday in the back of the video yesterday. You know, what do you do when markets are this choppy? And so what I'm going to show you guys today is a very simple but straightforward and repeatable way to be able to make money in the market, so in a range-bound market. Now, it is important to understand that obviously stocks are a highly correlated asset class. I always tell my students and clients that somewhere between 60 and 70 or 80% of stocks move up and down together at any given point. So from that perspective, what we're trying to do is trying to find a stock or a series of stocks, or maybe an ETF, that trades in a very well-defined range. It could be, in this case, it might be a sideways range, as the broader market might be a little bit choppier. So we're trying to find the best possible stock or ETF to do a trade this in sort of buying low and selling high. And I'm going to show you guys one idea that I came across yesterday that I think is actually interesting to do. So let me flip around the camera here. Let me see if I do this like this. Here. Okay, and that stock, at least as one idea, is shares of Oracle. And you can see that stock does have a very, very, very well-defined range. Let me just get this thing straight here. And the range is well-defined by both on the upper end and on the lower end. So you've got a well-defined resistance line and well-defined support. Okay, so the stock basically dropped below support the other day after earnings on Monday the 19th. Well, the stock dropped on the 20th, but the earnings were the 19th of March. So the question is if this is gonna help us hold that support one more time. Well, the stock's very oversold. It's gonna act like the broader market for sure. So there's a couple opportunities. One could take a stab here, just buy the stock a little bit, put a stop a few percent below, just to make sure if this support area can hold. So the great thing about it, you have very well-defined support, right? If the stock drops and closes below this support line, you basically stop, not just basically, you just exactly stop yourself out. Remember, you can always get back in, right? But the idea would be that considering that this area here, which for this stock is around 40, I want to say it's $47, roughly speaking, 46.50 maybe. The question is whether with this level, which used to be resistance, by the way, as you can see, it has now been support for December of 2017, January 18, February 18, and now maybe again in March. So you can do this kind of trade, just like you could have faded the highs of these trends. Well, once you had this high, you could only do it here and maybe again here. So it's a range-bound market, right? But you want to try to find, the key here, folks, is to find an opportunity or find opportunities in stocks or ETFs where the range is extremely well defined, and they should be a little wider too. Like in this case, this range is, let me quickly do the math. The range in this case is about 15% wide, okay? So from the low end of the range to the upper end is about 15%, or it's probably a little bit more from low to if you measure something from the bottom to the up, back up mathematically, it's a larger number than going from top down. But let's say roughly a range of about at least, I think 10% makes sense. If you got a range of 5%, it's going to get very, very, very choppy. So anyway, folks, I hope this was helpful. If you guys enjoy this, please give us a thumbs up like. Leave a comment down below. Share it with everyone you know. And I'll see you guys in the next YouTube Live.